Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. We got 45 seconds until qualifying will start, so just sit tight and we will get going here soon. 37 is going to be the last one to come around the track. Invalidated lap anyways, and quali is a go. So folks, optimum track for the entirety of quali is 12 minutes long, and we're going to have a 20-minute sprint race here at Indianapolis. Really tough track to get right, very, very flat, very, very difficult to get your car around in a well-organized manner. So first one on track is going to be Sylth. We'll see him coming out of the pit lane first here. Very long pit lane. Long pit straight here at Indy. Pit stops are a long affair, but a 20-minute sprint race tonight will make that null void. No pits required rather, and a huge group behind Sylth are bundling up. You can see them queuing to get in a line for the start of quali, but Sylth is going to have plenty of clear air in front of him to set the lap that he would like to start off with. Like I said, 12 minutes in qualifying. We're already a minute down, 11 minutes left. The lap around Indy, we're going to be sitting somewhere in between the 1:35s and the 1:38s. That is projected lap times for the field tonight. So we will see how it goes. Rathy, really quick driver we have in the lobby tonight. Notoriously a little bit of a bugger in qualifying onto the back straight. Now he's overtaking Black Cowboys for position in qualifying, so we'll see how he does tonight. Really quick around to Indy. Has been known to dip into the 35, so we might see that coming out from him. AERT Skino, leader of AERT esports team. We'll see him putting on a show tonight in that blacked out McLaren 720S Evo. Richie, member of P1 Racing in those P1 colors, the blue, white, and yellow. I know he's a little bit newer to Indy, but we'll see how he does tonight around the track. And our first one to be coming around, like I said, is going to be Sylth, rounding the last corner right now. The right-hander at Indy and coming down the pit straight. He's going to be the first one to set a valid lap with less than 10 minutes in qualifying. Let's see how fast he can go. That AMG is really tough to get around this track but Sylth always manages that Mercedes around any track he races at, so definitely expecting him to do well tonight at this XCL race. Not much action until these first drivers get their laps in. Once those first drivers get going, we'll have a little bit more of a race to watch here. 9 minutes in qualifying to go. You can see number 37 there in front of Sylth. A couple of drivers have found themselves some space, and a couple more drivers are really bundled up. The 18 and the 31 are super close together. The BMW and the Ferrari there of me, Elmsey, following really tight. We have another fast driver in the lobby tonight who I hadn't even noticed, Fazzy Binks, most likely one of the higher rated drivers tonight as far as XCL rating goes. We'll be looking for him to possibly secure a podium. But it is Sylth we're keeping an eye on. He's entering the third sector now, coming up to the last 90-degree turn. There's 3 of them here at Indy. You can see him not clipping that big old sausage curb, coming around the left-hander, and then he'll be around the right for the last corner of Indianapolis. He's coming down the pit straight, and we'll see what he can set. Hopefully breaking well into the 136s to start off, but we do not know. We'll see in about 3 seconds where he's going to go. He's going to go with a 137.7, so absolutely time to improve there. NKLS is going to go 1.8 seconds off the pace with Wraith, whatever you want to call this kid, going a 35.8. is going to be well on top of pole, 1.8 seconds in front of anybody who's even close to him. Zero is going to go P4. Good result from him there in the number 6 Porsche. We'll be looking to see him show out a little bit tonight as well with less than 8 minutes in qualifying, folks. We are down to 7 minutes and 40 seconds left. Wraith is your pole sitter. He's going to be cranking out of this first sector, looking to go even faster than he did before. Sylph definitely has a faster lap in him. Looks like the lap from Skino is going to be 0.8 seconds off his team member Wraith in P1 there in the 722 McLaren. He's going to go 0.8 off, which puts him at a 36.6. So he's absolutely going to want to go a little quicker there. Right Karts is going to go into P4 in that blue and orange 720. 7 minutes to go in qualifying. It's going to be really, really eventful. We got another couple cars coming across the line. That's Fazzy Binks going into P3, 1.2 seconds off the pace. And Chlorpe actually beating him out. 9/10 off the pace, cuts him by 3/10 there, Fazzy. The 269 Ferrari now in P4. So Fazzy absolutely going to be looking to increase his lap differential between Skino, between Wraith, who's coming across the line now for possibly an even quicker lap than the 35.8. It is not. He's not going to improve on that first lap. Track is optimum, which means the track is at the best state that it's possibly going to get to. So these drivers do not have to worry about track development. They can go out and set these early laps as fast as possible. You see Wraith getting onto the curb a little bit too much there and into the sand slash grass. Really something that you can fall into the trap of here at Indy. These curbs are really flat, as well as the entire track really doesn't have much camber. So it's very easy to accidentally cut a curb a little bit too much and you see yourself in the grass there. Another thing with Indy is this track tends to have a lot of grip on the entries or in the middle of the corner rather, and a lot less grip on the exits and the entries. So these drivers have to guide the car in well and push on the exit well, otherwise they find themselves oversteering a little bit either into the corner or out of the corner. And something that is specifically a challenge is that Porsche. Porsche, you gotta get the exits right because it doesn't have the top speed of a car like the McLaren or a car like the BMW, who's down there in P10, the number 31 from Memsey. So Wrath, you see flashing Saber there. Saber actually puts it into the wall. Wrath is going to go down the inside at quali, which is absolutely something that you really don't want to see from a driver. Typically, if you're behind someone who's slower than you in qualifying, you are required to abandon your lap. So Wrath might actually be getting some eyes from the stewards on that. Most likely not going to improve. Actually, it does go up 2/10 even with the impediment. But he was supposed to abandon his lap there, so we might be seeing some corrective action taken after the race. 4 minutes 45 seconds in qualifying. Skino is in your P2, 6/10 off the pace into the third sector now. Let's see if he can go any quicker. Mad Side Caster, someone who's in a Porsche and is typically in the AMG, is in P12. And we have Richie yet to set a lap, Levision yet to set a lap. And we'll see where those guys can go. But Skino comes across the line, and he's going to improve by 2/10. He's now 4/10 off the pace, securing his P2 a little bit better to Fezzy Binks, who is behind him. Entering the third sector now, he is P3, 8/10 off the pace. Mad Caster is going to increase his pace, like I said previously. He's going to go from P12 to P5 there, beating out Sylph by a mere, looks like 7/100ths of a second. So really, really close margin between those two drivers with 4 minutes to go in qualifying. These guys are going to be battling it out for the top 5 position here to start the race. 20-minute sprint race, which means qualifying is very, very crucial. If they don't do well in qualifying, there's not a lot of time to make up places during the race other than the first lap. Sylph is going to be coming down into the last 90-degree turn that gets really heavy on the curb and is into the grass. You can see those curbs do not treat you well at all at Indy, so needs to be really, really careful going over those things. The 222 is going to be the next one across the line. That is NKLS in the 296 Ferrari. He's P11 right now. Can he improve 2 seconds off the pace? Let's see where he can go. He's going to jump all the way up to P4, 9/10 off the pace. If he finds another 10th, he'll get that podium position in qualifying, and he is 2/10 behind him, the 789 Lamborghini of Cuporte. Fantastic lap from MKLS. And we'll see if he can improve here into the grass a little bit on turn 1, but not something that we are unfamiliar with. Skino is into the pits looking for some more fuel. Less than 3 minutes left in qualifying. It is going to be a race to the finish. Let's see how many laps these guys can put in. Parkino is going to be the next one across the line. Typically see him in the BMW M4. He's in the AMG tonight. 1.7 seconds off the pace. Where can he go? He's going to drop up to P7, increase his lap by 4/10. Amazing run from him. Number 22 is coming across the line. He's going to drop up into P10, Levier. Fantastic lap from him as well. Number 56 coming across, and Joe Knows is going to go into P15. Good stuff from him. Parkino barely keeping it on. Into the grass twice there. Really tough to get that AMG around the first sector cleanly, but he does a good job. Almost 2 minutes left in qualifying, so this qualifying session has gone by rapidly. 789 is going to be the next one across the line, and I believe that is, yes, Caplorte in P5 in that Lamborghini. 1.1 seconds off the pace. Where can he go? He's not going to improve, so he's going to stay 1.1 seconds off the pace. He is P5 right now in qualifying, and he has plenty of space in front and behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about any impediment now. It looks like this is most likely going to be his last lap around the circuit, with 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. All of these drivers crossing the line now are going to be on their last lap. Some drivers might not get one more lap. We'll just have to see where they end up. I believe the 722, I'm not sure if Skino's going to get another lap, and I think he should be, yeah, he should be well safe. But the 789 is going to be the last one to cross the line, and he's not going to get another lap. It's going to be really tight. It's going to be like 1 second. But I believe this is going to be his last lap, and therefore everybody behind him his last lap. So we'll see how it goes right now. 68 coming across the line. I love 68 in that Macca is going to go P10. 10th position for him. Top 10 in qualifying. Really good result. The number 22 of Levier coming across the line. Number 56. Levier is not going to improve, by the way, staying P12. Joe Knows coming across the line. Not going to improve. 2.8 seconds off the pace. We'll see what he can do on his lap now. 722 comes across the line. That is Skino. He's going to be on his quali lap now. The 789 coming around the last right-hander, 1.1 second off the pace. This is his last qualifying lap. He might actually get one more. It looks like he is going to get one more. Or he's just going to stop on the straight and abandon his qualifying. So 20 seconds left. It looks like he didn't think he could go faster, so he's going to give it up. 15 seconds now. Is 666 going to get another lap? That's Floor Door Bandit. Is he going to cross the line in time? It looks like he's going to have 5 seconds to spare across the line for one more quali lap. So is NKLS. 3 seconds to spare, and now the race is on. Who can increase their position? Number 31 of Mimsy is going to put himself into the grass. Not a good enough qualifying lap for him to increase. Black Cowboys P18 is going to jump up to P17, but not enough from his lap to go any further up the board. Penny 68, last right-hander, onto the main straight now. Qualifying time has ended. P19, he's going to not improve on his lap. Unfortunate there from him. 0 is going to go all the way up to P7. Good lap 2 coming across the line. Now that's going to be the 22 of Levier, who's going to increase to P13. The 420 does not increase their lap. It looks like the 56 is coming across now. That is Joe Knows with McLaren right behind him. Joe Knows is going to go P16. Good lap from him. And that is going to be it for qualifying. The 222 is our last one on the track for a quali lap. It's all about if he can cut a 10th off to get a podium position. It's all riding on him. No one else on the track right now. This is his last chance to increase his quali position. All of the positions you see final except his. Can he go faster into the third sector, into the left-hander? He invalidates the lap, and that is going to end the session for qualifying. Into the race now, 20-minute sprint race rather, and we'll see these drivers show out at Indianapolis tonight. Just hang on, folks. Race is starting in a minute. Your pole sitter, Wrath, with a 35.6. Not even close behind him is Skino, 4/10 off the pace, and another 4/10 behind that is Fazzy. It is a spread out field at the top, and if you take a look at the midfield, it is tense between them. So midfield battle is going to be really, really good tonight. So drivers have snapped to the grid now. 1 minute and 30 seconds until the full formation lap starts. He's starting on the front there in the front row with Skino right behind him. Once this countdown ends, we'll go into replay real quick to get our helicam.
30 seconds. 20 seconds.
You hear that engineer say 20 seconds to go. Let's hop into replay now. Get the camera we need. There it is, helicam. There we are. So Fazzy Binks, P3, podium position for him, really good stuff. He has a good race pace, we know that, so we'll be watching him throughout the race, as well as NKLS, someone I'm not familiar with. First time seeing him in the XCL over the past week, so we'll see what he can do tonight. The Lamborghini of Caporte is just deciding he's not waiting around on this formation lap. Might get a drive-through there for the race start if he doesn't slow down, but looks like he is. So Rathy P1, Skino P2, and Fazzy Binks at P3. See how these guys can do. Like I said, 20 minutes around the circuit. It's going to be a little bit over 10 minutes, 10 laps rather. Most likely 11 or 12 from our leader. Most likely 11 because of the first lap chaos that typically ensues. But I mean, if Rathy can stay consistent, if he can put in lap after lap in P1 there, he's absolutely looking good for a race win. So we'll see how he does very, very soon. Just getting around the formation lap now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to see this Ferrari battle on the second row. It's going to be tight between these two guys, Fazzy and KLS. Really, really entertaining, hopefully. Hopefully we'll get some good action tonight. You see their Corte, and they are going too wide, folks. We are almost ready to go here at Indy, coming down the last straight, the last couple feet until we might see the green light. So, Rathy, P1, Fazzy Binks P3 right behind him, right on his tail, and you got Skino to the left and NKLS to the left of Fazzy. It's going to be tight with these top 4 drivers here. We'll catch up with the rest of the grid after lap 1, but we are absolutely going to want to see the drama that unfolds on lap 1 with these front 4. We are on to the pit straight. This is where it happens, folks. The grid is being crossed. The drivers are getting ready. Rathy is getting actually a very poor start. Looks like he was not to the top of that green box that he's allowed it to, so that is going to put Skino in front for the first corner. However, Rathy does have the inside. Porte, the Lamborghini is going up the middle of the 2296s and actually is going to take the position from Fazzy. Porsche on the left running wide. Looks like the Lamborghini is going to go into P4. Too wide between Rathy and NKLS. Let's see what NKLS can do possibly on our pole sitter from qualifying. These top 4 are stacked, and Fazzy Binks is going to fall to P5 with Mad Psycaster and Zero right behind him on the tail. Those 2 Porsches fighting through turn 1 and turn 2. Rathy is going to want to get this position back from Skino as fast as possible, get past him for the last 19 minutes of this race so that he can just lap at the pace he knows he has. Clorpte? We're going to call him Clorpte. Is right behind NKLS, right on his tail, possibly looking for a move on the inside in the 90-degree turn that starts the 3rd sector. NKLS is going to get the switchback, and it looks like Fazzy Binks is having to defend from both of these Porsches now. Zero and Mad Psycaster, really tight between those guys. NKLS is going to well take the position. He is going to be 5/10 ahead now, well out of the draft for that main straight. And everything kicking off right away here at Indianapolis. Let's see what happened in the back. Doesn't look like maybe too much contact, but Sylph is down to 13th, so something absolutely did happen back there. Not sure what went on. Richie's up into P9 and is fighting very closely with I Love 68, who drops a couple positions to him. Maybe a little side-by-side action, maybe a little squeeze happened there from Richie. Zero is right under the back of Fazzy Binks. Fazzy Binks is going to dive to the inside to defend on the first corner. He's 1/8 behind. He's going to want to send a move now around the outside. He's going to have the inside of turn 2. He has him on the straight. Let's see what he can do around the outside, side-by-side, door-by-door, and he's going to take the position up into P5 is Zero, looking for a top 5. Fazzy's going to want to get that position back. We'll see if he can do so later in the lap. Jay Kirsch right on the back of Black Cowboys. He's 2/10 back from that 447 Porsche in front of him with less than 18 minutes to go. Zero still holding the position to Fazzy. Fazzy still looking for a move. Maybe now is the chance. That long sweeping left-hander is going to take the inside outside of the right-hander, running really wide onto the back straight now. Looks like Zero is going to maintain his position. There goes the Amazon Prime board, and I believe it's now stuck to the car of Richie, and there it goes again. Let's see if we can follow its journey. It's falling all the way back and off the track now. Possibly a move from Sylph going around the outside. Contact between the BMW and the Porsche. Looks like the BMW just did not give that Porsche room. Sylph is going to slam on the brakes and get hit from the Porsche by behind. And we have major contact up here. Zero's off the track. The BMW is going to take the inside line, get a track cut. Porsche is maybe going to want to take that position back. Joe Nose is just gone onto the... Is that the... I don't even know where he went. He's on a different circuit. We have Zero who got contact. We have Jay Kirk who's now making a move on Black Cowboys out of nowhere. And we have the McLaren of, I believe, who is that? Levision, who has maintained his position. Gotten a little gift from behind there. And with 17 minutes to go in this race, it's a little bit unfolding here at the back of the pack. Jay Kirk looks like he's going to get the position on Black Cowboys. Joe Nose is not in between them. He's all the way back side by side with the Porsche of Levier. And really interesting stuff happening at the back of the pack. I Love 68 is on the back of Richie now with 1/10 separating the two. Let's see what he can do. Possibly a move coming. It's going to be tight between those two drivers. They are always giving good fights. 16 minutes in this race. It is going to be really close. Right Karts is on the back of Melmsey, who gained some positions by cutting the track there. Stewards are definitely going to take a look. Sylph is onto the back of him as well. I believe Sylph might have some damage, but with 15 minutes, it's not worth it. You're going to lose all of your positions if you pit. No one else has to pit, so Jay Church kind of in a sandwich nightmare with Black Cowboys and Levision Apex behind, and there is a train behind those drivers. Look at all those cars, folks, in a line. It is really close between those guys. Jay Kirk kind of acting as the corkscrew in the wine bottle right now behind Black Cowboys. He's falling away. He's holding these drivers up. Parkino making a move on the inside of Levision Apex. It looks like it's going to be done, and Lever may be going for one as well. Taps a little ambitious there from Lever, going up the inside, trying to get a double overtake effectively. Taps the right side door of Levision Apex there. You can see that cosmetic damage. They are side by side now going out on the main straight. Very similar straight line speeds from both the Macca and the Porsche, and it looks like the Porsche is going to get the braking zone on Levision by quite a while. Porsche is going to take the inside line on that left-hander, and that is going to be his corner, his position. Up into P15 is going to be 0 on that number 6 Porsche. Saber is gaining some position from Joe Nose, who was well off the track. He's not having the most fun race. Sylph looks like he's making it past Right Karts on the main straight. Turn 1, side by side, taps the sausage curve, then taps the 159 Macca. Side by side again, a little bit of door banging there. Macca doesn't want to leave him room because he got no room on the first turn. So a little bit of revenge there, or karma for Sylph, not leaving room on the first turn, and he doesn't get any on the second, which is absolutely the Macca's right. Still side by side, unbelievable racing from these two. They are neck and neck for this position. It looks like Right Karts might hold on to it for now, but Sylph is close behind and he knows it. They were side by side through 3 to 4 corners there. Really, really good stuff from them, but you can see the damage on the front of that Macca. It is not good. That hood looks unbelievably torqued. I Love 68 still on the back of Richie, who is leading him by about 4/10 now, but Sylph is looking to get past this McLaren. You can see he has the faster pace. We got 13 and a half, a little bit more minutes left here at Indy. Looking for a move down the inside now on this bendy right-hander, and it looks like he has it by a mile. Coming down to the last 90-degree turn here at Indy 3, and he is going to take that position well off, and we know he has a little bit more pace than that Macca behind, so most likely going to run away a little bit. Sylph up into P9. Fantastic racing from those two. We love to see it. Parkino now is still on the back of J Church. Actually, it looks like he got passed by a good margin. So Parkino's going to take that position, go up into P12. Good stuff from him. Right Karks onto the back of Sylph. He is 6/10 behind now, but Sylph looks like he slowed down a little bit early for that first corner. I was wondering if there was something happening, but no, it just looks like he's taking a little bit of an early break to benefit the exit for him. Under 13 minutes to go in this race. I Love 68 closing the gap to Richie. Richie is 4.6 seconds from the rest of the field. Rathy is well into the lead. It is not close right now. 1.4 seconds. Looks like Skin will let him by at some point. But I mean, it was a clean overtake there from Rathy. Like it was one lap he was lead, second place, and then the next he was in the lead. So it looks like they just had a little bit of team communication there and made it happen. But he's well into first place now. Fastest lap also in his name coming into the third sector. It looks like he is going to take this race if he just buckles down, stays consistent. Richie into the grass there twice. Really bad on the Macca. You don't want to do that at this track, and I Love 68 is going to exploit that mistake. He's right to the back of him now. 2/10 separating between these two drivers. Let's see what I Love 68 can do. 1/10 even into the draft. Maybe going to outside for this last 90-degree turn. Richie may be outbraking himself, and he does. I Love 68 just faking the dive bomb there, trying to get into Richie's head, and it works. Richie is now into the back of I Love 68, and I Love 68 is going to take that P6. Yeah, Richie just got played a little bit there. He acted like he was going for the dive bomb, and he wasn't, and Richie just was too late on the brakes for the corner, sent it into the grass, and that's going to be the position 268. Macca Sylph now onto the back of Memsley after merely taking Right Karts just a couple laps ago. Memsley doesn't even know where the braking zones are, apparently. Broke about 150 meters before he should have. But Sylph is going to take that position as well, up into P8 and chasing down Richie, who's falling behind Isle of 68, trying to maintain this P7, but Sylth is on the hunt. As we know, he gives no mercy, so we'll be chasing him down in that AMG. J Church is being followed closely behind by Lever, and following Black Cowboys closely behind, who's following Parkino. So these drivers are nice and tied up together, and we'll see what that action brings us. Right car's onto the back of Melmsey. Now, maybe Melmsey with some damage. Not sure what's happening, but he is going slowly, and we have less than 11 minutes in this race. It has gone by extremely quickly. Levision Apex onto the back of the Ferrari of Panny, who's into the grass. Looks like he's going to get a free position, and someone might benefit from both of them is Saber, possibly looking for a double overtake. And look at the prime sign yet again. It's a staple of our race right now. And we love to see it. We love to see it floating down the track. Levision Apex off the track yet again, trying to maintain his position, but that is not a good idea when you have two drivers coming up behind you. Now side by side with Zero into this right-hander. Zero's going to try to get the switchback on him in that Porsche, but he loses it a little bit on the exit. And the number one McLaren is going to maintain his P17, but it is tight between those drivers. We'll keep an eye on that as the race develops. Halfway through, as you hear the engineer say, less than 10 minutes to go in this 20-minute sprint race at Indy. Forte hunting down NKLS for this top 3 position. The top 3 are spread out by 2 seconds each, almost 3 from P2 to P3. So not much happening up there, except for that 789 Lamborghini hunting the NKLS 296 Ferrari. We'll see what he can do. We'll keep an eye on that gap as it develops. Lever is onto the back of J. Kirk, 10 now. He's really tight, 1/10 off at one point. So we're going to be watching this for sure. Really good battle for P12 here between these two drivers. It's been relatively clean in that part of the field. A lot of off tracks, a lot of mistakes happening, but you know, that's racing for you. Right Karts is still onto the back of Melmsey. Sylth is now 2 seconds from Richie, who is trying to get this position back from Isle of 68. He's a mere 5/10 behind him. Hits that sausage curve just a little bit too much. These Macas are going at it lap after lap, even if it doesn't look like it. They are always racing when you can see one of them in their rearview mirror. It is always a mental game if they're falling behind. Sylth onto the grass there, just taking that exit a little bit too wide. He's 2 seconds back from Richie, who is 1 second back from Isle of 68, who has a well-formed gap to Fazzy Binks, who started P3 and just had an unfortunate lap 1. Just not a good start from him for the green light there, and he is down into P5. Trying to salvage his race a little bit, come away with a top 5 would not be bad for him at all. Forte, the gap is still 6/10. He's waiting for his moment here. He's got 8 minutes to make the move happen. Looks like their pace is really similar between these two drivers. Race pace is always different than quality pace, and that's something we always keep an eye on during the race sessions. Levision Apex behind Joe Knows. 5/10 between these two guys, and the same 5/10 is between J. Kirk and Black Cowboys. J. Kirk maybe going down the inside. I have no idea what just happened because Black Cowboys is lagging all over the place. A little bit of a connection issue from him. But we'll see what happens there. He was off the circuit and then he was right back on it. So Richie hunting down Isle of 68 still, but that gap is ever increasing, and the gap that is decreasing is Sylth to Richie. This AMG is wanting the P7. Let's see if Sylth can make this happen. He's got 1.8 seconds to cut down with 7 minutes to do so. It's going to be close between those drivers. Saber is onto the back of J. Kirk now and looking for a move. It looks like he got it done on the inside of that last corner before the back straight. So Saber is going to be up into P14, well into the top 15 now. He's got 4.8 seconds in front of him to Black Cowboys, and we'll see what he can do in that 296 Ferrari. Right Karts still on the back of Melmsey. Looks like they have very similar race pace. Right Karts maybe just biding his time, wanting to pass him on the straight, and this might be his opportunity. They come out really tight through that left-hander, now through the right bend onto the pit straight. 6 minutes 40 seconds left to go, and he is in the draft. Is there a move to be made down turn 1? I don't believe so, because that BMW is rapid in a straight line. If Melmsey's running low wing on that BMW, then you know he is flying on that pit straight, and it is really difficult for the Macca to catch up. Macca fast in those long corners, those fast high-speed corners. But other than that, on the straight, compared to the BMW, it is not a good matchup. Laporte is now 1.9 seconds back from NKLS. Unfortunate from him, just not having the pace he needs to get that position. Looks like the P3 will be NKLS's as long as he doesn't bottle it in these last stages of the race. Less than 6 minutes to go. It is going to be tight. Richie's onto the back of ILF68 now. He cut that gap down. I don't know if ILF68 had a moment, had something happen, but Richie is hunting for the P6 and just doesn't know how to take it. He's going down the inside of that 90-degree turn, which is just never a good option. It looks like he doesn't really know the line here at Indy, which the line is the most important thing at this track, but it is understandable as he is new to this track, very new to this track. So you know, stuff happens here, but he's 0.8 to 68 in front of him. We'll see what he can do. Someone is benefiting from both of them fighting is going to be Self. That gap is from 2 seconds to 1 second now. He's absolutely hunting the 223 McLaren of Richie 458. So he might benefit from them fighting a little bit into turn 1. We'll see what happens, but he is absolutely just sitting back there, biding his time, waiting for the right move. J. Kirk kind of increasing that lap. To Sabre now looks like he did take the position back, and it's 0.8 behind him that he has to play with. Not a ton of room. You make one mistake and that 0.8 is gone really quickly. So we'll see how those drivers get on. Richie now following out of 68 through that right-hander. Much wider line as you saw. Taps the apex of that second right-hander and into the hairpin. Into the sand rather. And Silth is gonna take advantage of that mistake. Silth does not let those mistakes go unpunished, and you see that right here, running wide onto the straight. He's gonna have the inside of the next corner, gonna have the inside of that 90-degree turn at the end of the back straight. He has the better exit. He is later on the brakes, and he's gonna take that position really nicely. Richie tries to go for the switchback, but with the next corner being a right-hander, he's not going to benefit from it. Richie may be going up the inside, and oh no, a super ambitious move from the McLaren driver is going to spin around Silth. Just really unfortunate contact there, but Richie did not have any rights to be in on that corner. Really too ambitious from the young McLaren driver, and just an unfortunate incident. But yeah, stewards are, if that gets reported, stewards are definitely going with the 443 of Silth. He had the move done, and Richie was too late on the brakes for the liking of everyone watching that one. 3 minutes to go. This 20-minute race has gone by like lightning. Sabre going to be taking the position from J. Kirk now that J. Kirk was on the grass. Maybe looking for a switchback here. Definitely looking for one. J. Kirk on the outside, Sabre on the inside. Doesn't look like he has the pace to get past him, but these guys are battling lap after lap. They've been fighting the entire race. We're going to see what they can do coming up here soon, but really good racing from these two with less than 3 minutes to go. It is tight, and Panny is behind, maybe waiting for one of them to mess with the other, and then he's going to strike, take both positions from him if that happens, like it did with Melmsey and Richie and Silth. Melmsey was just sitting behind him, waiting for something to happen. Looks like Richie was maybe off the circuit. Oh, hits the McLaren, spins around. He was off the circuit once, and now he's off the circuit twice. Richie is just not having a good race right now. Poor guy. Is not performing here at Indy tonight. Silth is P9. He was having a fantastic recovery drive until that incident with young McLaren driver Richie. Really unfortunate for those two guys, but Parkino and Melmsey are both going to benefit from that incident up in a P7 and P8 for those two drivers, and Isle of 68 now does not have to worry about that 223 McLaren on his backside. He's got a wonderful gap of 5.8 seconds behind him, and he doesn't have to sweat now. He can just bring home this race. We have 1 minute and 45 seconds left, and our leader Rafi, 7.9 second gap behind him. He has had a lonely race up there in P1. Not been doing much other than the first lap and possibly the second. He has been just sticking out in position 1 there in that 721 Porsche 992. 1 minute and 22 seconds to go. He's going to cross the line for his final lap here in about 30 seconds. Entering the third sector now, right after this right-hander. We will see how he does on this last sector of his second to last lap. Right cards who got hit there by Richie, you saw, most likely has some left side damage, but he's trying his best to chase down the Porsche Levier, who's now in the grass, and he's going to benefit from that. He's going to take the inside line, avoid the Porsche, and put himself up into P10 now. Not letting those mistakes go unpunished is something that you really need to learn as a racing driver, and Right Cards is going to just take that position with authority and not let Levier have any chance of getting it back. We'll see if that Maka can be consistent for his last 2 laps around the circuit. If he can, he will be safe with that P10 top 10 finish tonight. You would be happy with. Parkino 5/10 to the back of Melmsey. Maybe a last lap move incoming here. We got 17 seconds until the clock runs out. You heard the engineer say a couple seconds ago, leader on the final lap. Like I said, Rathy on the final lap. He's coming out of the hairpin, or into the hairpin rather, into the second sector right now for his right hander on the back straight. We'll see how he does on the last lap, but as long as he doesn't bottle it, as long as he doesn't put it in a wall, he's going to come away with the race win here. Really close between these two drivers, Parkino on the 87 AMG and Melmsey in the 31 BMW. They have 2 more laps to go. Rather, this will be their last lap. They had 2 more laps to go when we first started watching them. But this will be their last lap on Indy. 20-minute timer is out now. 0 seconds on the clock that you see in the top right of your hand. Of your screen rather. So you'll see the last one across the line is going to be the #1 driver of Levision Apex. He'll be the last one to cross the start finish at Indy. We'll keep an eye on him, but he has well of a gap to 0 in front of him. Looks like 3 seconds in front, so it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do anything, but the gaps are closing. Levier onto the back of Right Cards in the AMG, in the McLaren. Right Cards with some damage that we know of. We saw that collision with Rich. And Rathy is going to cross the line for 13 laps at Indy, and he's going to take his win down to the first corner now. What a drive from him. Art Skino is going to take P2. NKLS is going to take P3. Clorpte, P4. Fazzy going from P3 in qualifying to P5. Unfortunate first lap stuff from him. Levier is still on the back of the McLaren, who's going to cut across and hit Levier in the front. And that position is going to go then to Levier. On the second to last corner, possibly Reinhardt's coming. He runs into the back of the Porsche and is into the wall now. That's going to absolutely ruin his race. Let's see if he can get to the finish line before Black Cowboys benefits. Black Cowboys is going to pass him, and Levier is going to take the P10, the top 10 finish from him. Right Cards all the way down to P12. Unfortunate incident. Richie's sliding across the line for his P13, who he's not going to be very happy about. Saber into P13 starting from the back is a really good result from him. J. Kirk 10 got the move done by him on Saber in that 34.296. He's going to go into P14. Joe Nose was off the track a couple times earlier in the race, lap 2, lap 3. He's going to finish 15.0. Barely going to stay ahead of Levision Apex, who will finish 16 and 17 respectively. Paney's in the pits. He doesn't care about finishing the race. And Front Door Bandit last in P19. There is your grid, folks. There is your result. 1/10 from Parkino to Melmsey. Really good sprint race from these guys. Really fun to watch. A lot of contact, a lot of off tracks, but that is Indianapolis, and that is racing for you. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you for the next XCL race on this channel.